Halloween, Samhain, Halloween, obviously same time of the year. How do you balance the two? Do you bring them together? Do you ignore Halloween completely? Do you bring it all together? How? Jess, any thoughts on that?
I'll be very honest. I'm quite, I suppose, lucky in a sense that I don't feel that conflict because I don't really have any reason to celebrate Halloween. I don't have children. I don't have young nieces, nephews, etc. I live in a 4th-story flat, so we don't really get trick or treaters around. The only way that Halloween really kind of impacts me is being able to go and shop for really cool furniture and decor, secret hats and places. And be Halloween parties, like, although I am getting to the age now where if I'm not in bed by 10 o'clock, then, I'm not interested. So Halloween parties are becoming less of a pressing issue. But yeah, for me personally, it's not been a challenge because I don't really have any reason to celebrate Halloween. I still love seeing everybody in their outfits and everything, but it's not something that I personally need to fit into my practice. And again, being a solitary practitioner, I can just kind of do my own Samhain practices as and when, if I do have plans later on in the evening, I can make sure I've got all of that done beforehand. I'm lucky that I'm quite flexible in the work that I do. That means, I can just take an afternoon off if I want and kind of dedicate that. So yeah, I do understand it can be a challenge for some people, but luckily it's not one that I've had to experience.
Lucya, what about you?
Right. Well, I kind of think that Halloween and Samhain can blend very well. I think that's partly because when I was a child back in the 1960s, yes, I am old.
Wise, not old, wise.
In England, Halloween wasn't quite such a thing.
No.
It was more bonfire night that was celebrated. So
Yeah.
yes, there would be some Halloween stuff. But my family, being the Addams family, we had big Halloween parties and all the kids wanted to come to our Halloween parties. And we'd have apple bobbing and we'd have a bonfire and we'd play party games for weeks beforehand because back then you couldn't buy so many like Halloween masks. You could buy bonfire, you could buy Guy Fawkes masks. And you couldn't buy so many Halloween costumes. Me and my friends, before our Halloween party, we would spend weeks making papier-mâché masks and turning old curtains into and old sheets into costumes. And so we'd have this amazing Halloween party. And it was a kiddie party, obviously, because we were children. But then after that, my parents would do divination. And I would too. So like after all my friends, little school friends had gone home, the adults would do divination and, use playing cards or a crystal ball, which was actually a fishing float they used to use, big glass fishing float for scrying. And so for me, I think there's always been both aspects to it. And I do love Halloween parties.
And you've got the hat already. Katie, what about you?
I think they can blend really beautifully well. When I was I'm a Libra, as I said before, and like I like that balance. So like for me, it's like Halloween is the sort of more playful, childlike side, and then you've got Samhain, which is the more, I guess, in a way, spiritual side. And I think many of us, as we grow up as adults, we kind of forget our inner child. And I think it's really, really important inner child healing work. And actually Halloween was sort of like my coming out of the broom closet kind of time of year when I was a kid, because all the other kids were interested in Christmas. And I was like, no, like Halloween is my Christmas. And I'd stick on Addams Family, Beetlejuice, and just be comfortable in myself, and no one's going to judge me because all the other kids were kind of dressing up and going, I've forgotten what you call it, and trick-or-treating. And my mum, serious for most of the year, Halloween, she's like a big kid, and so is my sister, and my sister would make like these witches' legs out of tights and shoes and stick them coming out of the door, and like these monsters in the hallway, and spooky like spiders webs all over the plants and things, and it was just such a really wonderful time. But then in saying that, Christmas, looking into Christmas can also be quite spooky as well. Really, really fantastic folk tales and stories around Christmas. And then once you've gotten over the whole like giddiness and the childlike wonder of Halloween, then you can, devote yourself to your personal practice, whatever that might be. So I think absolutely the two can blend really well together, and I love both sides to this time of year.
I like Lucya said, when I was a kid, Halloween wasn't a thing. With my birthday being Halloween, I used to get bought the odd witch toy or ornament or something. But I think I was probably in my 20s before trick-or-treating became a real thing and shops started having Halloween stuff. But when our children were younger, they wanted to do the whole trick-or-treating. And we live in terraced houses, so we are easy targets for the trick-or-treaters. So when the kids right through, it was trick-or-treating every Halloween. And I put my hand up to it. I got fed up with what, my birthday? I don't want to be answering the doorbell every 5 minutes and giving out sweets. What we've actually done now, a bit like the Queen used to, I have 2 birthdays. I have a birthday celebration a couple of days before Halloween and kind of ignore my actual birthday on Halloween. And we used to do it as trick-or-treating and giving out and sweets. But I would do I'd put my altar in the front window of the house so that everyone walking past would see all of the pumpkins and the lights and everything. Have to admit, now the children are grown up, we haven't done it so much. Tend to be a quiet evening. But I am the only pagan in my family, so my actual Samhain celebration is very solitary and done usually on a different day. And I think that's a thing as well. For me, Samhain isn't just that one night. It is a period of time. You have the build up to Samhain, you have the waning of it afterwards. So I just work it into my schedule, really. It's but I think we like to have fun, don't we? So yeah, it gives us a good excuse to put on the stripy tights and the witch's hats. Totally go for it.
That kind of stuff all year round anyway.
Yes. Yeah. And I think, yes, you can buy fabulous home decor in the shops at Samhain that you keep in the house all year round. I think it can blend. I think it does. It does have a different spin, perhaps, if you have children, because all of their friends are getting involved in it as well. But I think most of the children these days have no idea what the actual trick or treat means.
That's true.
They're just there for the sweets. And I can wholeheartedly go for that as well.
Yeah, and I think it falls on a Friday this year, doesn't it? And it's always nice when it falls on a weekend because, as you said, Rachel, you can kind of just take that time and extend it. Like, there's nothing worse than being like, oh, well, I finished work at 5. I'm not going to be home until 6. And then I've got to set up the altar. And yeah, it's nice when you can actually kind of carve out that time and dedicate more than just the evening to it.
I do that with all of the Sabbaths, though. I don't necessarily do it on that one fixed date in the calendar. It has to work into my schedule, but also with the seasons, it has to work in with how the season and the weather feels for me as well. Autumn is my favourite time of the year, but it's got to feel like autumn. It's got to have that crispness and that, it's work. It's connection. We're back to connection again, I think, aren't we? Connection to nature and what's happening. It has to feel right.